It's not 해, but it's another expression related to the moon.
Wow.
And I heard that before in a cute way, so I wasn't too hurt.
Okay.
As long as it's said in a cute way,
Yes.
you'll be fine.
All right, that's good. That's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you thinking of one
Yes,
yourself?
I'm thinking of one.
can
Did
tell.
you come up with yours, Steve?
Not yet. You first.
Oh, okay. I would say my. So you guys know Pocket Monster, right?
Oh, I love Pokemons. Wait, can we say that on air? But anyway, I love those little creatures or
Right.
big creatures.
So there's this creature named 망나뇽.
Ah.
You kind of look like a little 망나뇽, and so
Aw.
yeah,
You got that
I
before.
would
Wow.
say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's cute.
Go figure how it looks like. But
No, I
anyways,
know how
yeah.
it looks like.
You
I
do?
can't see the resemblance though.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That's what he said. But
isn't
anyways.
it like sort of a dinosaur looking character with like
right,
yeah, yeah.
With the wings
antennas
on.
and
Oh.
wings? Yeah. No, it's a huge creature, you know.
Oh, really?
But it's cute.
It's cute. As long as it's cute.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
there is a
Cute looking,
resemblance
yeah,
then.
At
Right.
least it's cute.
There's a resemblance. All right. Well, shall we take a look at all the expressions we learned today? And
let's go for it.
before we end, maybe we can go around and make a sentence with all the questions or expressions we learned today.
Ooh.
Yeah?
All right.
Do you want to go first, Cha-Cha-Sim? Give us an example since you're our teacher.
I would say 심쿵.
Ooh.
오늘 잉글리시 크루를 보니 심쿵했다. I would say.
Really?
Yeah, because I call them UK crew because they both from England, and also our DJG is wearing Burberry, and so UK crew. I'm sorry, but anyways,
We're
the
not
pattern of her
endorsing
shirt.
any brand. We are not endorsing any
Yeah,
brand.
no endorsement. But anyways, so
Okay.
심쿵했다. They
Okay.
looked very cool.
Okay.
Yes.
All right,
Something
well-
like this. Doesn't have to be long or difficult.
Thank you for starting that off.
Okay.
Can you think of any?
Think of a trying to think. I could think of kind of like a funny situation.
Oh, funny situation.
But I can't remember if it's 부서지다.
Well, let's hear it.
But
Mm-hmm.
it was more with my. I don't think it was 부서지다. I think it was a different word. But
Oh,
when I
okay.
see this word, for some reason, I think of when me and my friend we were playing a football match, and then he got injured, and we had to go in an ambulance.
Oh.
And I don't think it was this word, but I remember him basically saying like, "Oh, I think my leg's falling apart," like this.
Right.
Which is serious, but because it was my friend, I was kind of laughing at the same time. Maybe a bad friend, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I learned that word as well. It's like when I was playing football, I broke my toe, and I had to explain to people
You
what's
broke your
wrong.
toe.
Yeah,
No.
it's fine now.
Okay, it was
It's
okay.
a long time
Thank
ago,
goodness.
Don't worry.
All right. Well, we're more likely to say 부러지다.
Yeah.
부러지다. But like if it hurts to death, then you can say 다 부서졌어. But like in normal way, we
Yeah,
say
부러지다.
부러졌어.
Right.
Oh,
Nice job. Good one. Good
Okay.
one.
Well, did you do yours, Steve? Then was that sort of?
Can I count?
Yeah.
But yeah, like here 실수 a lot of time like 실수로, like yeah, it's
accidentally.
kind of accidentally,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Like yeah, somebody bumps into somebody and like they think it's deliberate, but yeah, it's an accident. So you're like trying to say it's an accident. Yeah,
Okay. So in Korean, how would you say that?
it's like 실수로.
아, 실수로.
Yeah.
You meant.
실수로
okay.
그랬어요.
실수로 그랬어요. So it sort of goes with I'm sorry too.
Right.
Yeah.
아, 실수였어요.
실수였습니다.
I hear that a lot playing football because if you do a tackle and they think it's a bad tackle,
I see.
then
Right.
you're like,
My
sorry,
bad.
sorry.
Yeah. 아, 실수.
Yeah.
I feel like English people always say like, "Oh, sorry," at the smallest things, or
Yeah.
like it was a mistake, or accidentally. So maybe
Yeah.
that's why we like it. I don't know.
I
Right.
think
I
it's a cultural aspect
Maybe,
too.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
wanting to harm anyone.
Right.
Or yeah.
So you get to be the sorry robot, right? Sorry, book.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I see.
All right. Well, last but not least, I would say 설마. It's a really simple one, but when you 설마 했는데 너였어. 설마 했는데 I did not think it would be you, but
You
it was
again.
you. Yeah.
You again.
You again.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Wow.
All right,
cool.
Cha-Cha-Sen. Well, thank you so much for teaching us some of the trickiest expressions from my personal K-pop song today. I loved it, listening to the song and learning all these expressions as always. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
And Steve, thank you for joining us
pleasure.
today. We
Yeah,
hope to
thanks
see
for
you
having me
again.
on.
Yeah.
it's good fun.
Oh,
Yeah, it
thank
was
you.
fun, yeah.
Was it
It was
fun?
nice having a fellow Brit.
Oh,
I
then
I miss Aaron, but yeah, it was
Okay,
nice
yeah.
having a fellow Brit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
We do miss Aaron. All right. But next time, we hope to see you again. All right. And that's it for today. We'll have to wrap up the show right here. That's our K-pop Decoded. And it's 불금, Steve's favorite word, right?
Oh,
Friday.
That's right.
Yeah, it's Friday. So I hope all of you have a great Friday. Happy
Right.
Friday.
Right,
and
right.
please do join us again tomorrow
Right.
for more culture
Right,
to crunch
right.
on. All right, this has been your DJ Jihi and our Cha-Cha-Sam, our Steve, and Tom. All right, thank you very much. And this is our
Okay.
last song. I found it today. I did not
Okay.
not write it down this time.
But before we introduce the last song, I just want to ask you guys
Okay.
the very last plan for your 불금.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then,
All
then
right.
we'll get to listen to the last song.
Okay,
How
okay.
about that?
Nice.
Speaking
Okay.
of, yes.
How are you going to spend your 불금?
I'm actually not going to do a bulkum this week because for some reason my football team put the match really early tomorrow morning, so I have to wake up at 6:30. So this week, no bulkum for me.
Oh, okay. You're going to sleep
불토.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
불토. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
What about
same
you,
for me.
Tom?
I'm not playing football, but yeah, tomorrow I've got plans early in the morning. So yeah, just a quiet one.
Oh, quiet one.
Yeah,
Quiet
chill.
one.
Yeah. How about
Okay.
yourself?
This is a secret.
Oh, secret.
Not a secret anymore.
Okay.
But I'll be going for a gathering this afternoon and dinner, and I hope you have a great Friday as well, Cha-Cha-Sim. All right?
Thank you. Yeah, quite for me
All
too.
right, so we will really have to wrap up the show right there. So this has been your DJ Chihi, and our last song is Joyride by Cortis. Bye-bye, keep crunching.
갇혀의 건물 속에 밤새 노선 깔고는 잠배 All day 외쳐나 flipping much Fridays Pancakes bloodshot eyes tonight 도망가 여길 벗어나 Cause 우리는 꿈꿔 지칠 나의 맘 달려뿐 전기를 골라 채워 얼른 밟아 그대로 이 자리를 떠지는 집을 줘 Cause we're on a joyride 더 세게 speed it up 지금 기분 so high Driving so fast 가로질러 keep on day to night right we're on a joyride yeah we're on a joyride yeah we're on a joyride Driving so fast 가로질러 keep on day to night right we're on a joyride
갈까요?
갈까요? 갈까요?
갈까요?
어디 가요?
한글 만나러!
저희가 매일매일 자동차를 타고 일상생활에서도 쉽게 사용을 하는데 그런 자동차에서 타이어는 계속해서 버려지고 있거든요. 전 세계적으로 10억 개 이상 버려지고 있는데 특히 소각 처리될 경우에는 대기오염 물질들이 여러 가지가 나오게 되고 매립됐을 때는 지하수나 토양 오염 물질들이 많이 방출되게 됩니다. 저희는 그런 타이어들을 어떻게 잘 처리할지 좀 고민을 했었습니다. 타이어가 가지고 있는 접지력이나 내마모성이 좀 우수하다고 생각을 했고요. 저희는 타이어 하나로 신발을 3.5켤레 정도를 만들 수가 있어요. 그렇게 됐을 때 저희의 신발 한 켤레는 타이어에서 발생되는 탄소를 8.9kg 정도 저감할 수 있는 그런 효과가 있습니다. 이 일을 시작하기 전에는 타이어가 그렇게 많이 버려지는지도 몰랐고, 그리고 버려진 타이어들이 환경 파괴적으로 처분되는 것도 사실은 잘은 몰랐어요. 점점 더 적체가 되고 있거든요, 타이어들이. 시간이 지나면 지날수록 더 큰 문제가 될 것 같다는 생각에 지금 일을 하고 있습니다. 타이어마다 모양이나 패턴이 굉장히 많이 다양한데 내가 가지고 있는 신발이 다른 신발들과 모양이 다를 수 있다는 점, 이런 점도 제 재미 요소로 좀 다가가고 있습니다. 저희도 그런 계기를 보다 많은 분들께 하나 더 제공해 주고자 매일매일 신는 신발을 만들겠다고 한 것도 있어요. 조금 더 주변을 살펴보면은 나 스스로도 조금 더 환경 보호에 참여할 수 있는 일이나 물건들이 더 있지 않을까, 그렇게 찾아보시면 어떨까 싶습니다. 나는 다시 달릴 수 있게 만드는 그리너입니다.
Senior South Korean trade officials met with U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick in Washington as the two countries work to narrow differences over the $350 billion investment package. Ahead of the talks, the Korean delegation also held a meeting at the White House to discuss cooperation in the shipbuilding industry. Cambodia is reportedly planning to deport 59 South Koreans today who are involved in job scam cases. And the Cambodian Prime Minister met with the Korean delegation and expressed deep regret over the recent torture and death of a college student who was kidnapped and forced to work in a scam center in Cambodia. U.S. President Donald Trump has said he will meet with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin in Hungary for more talks on the Ukraine war. Although the exact date is unknown, Trump said the meeting will take place within 2 weeks or so. We begin today with trade talks between South Korea and the United States, which appear to be in their final stages. Senior Korean trade officials in Washington held a meeting with the U.S. Commerce Chief Howard Lutnick and sat down for talks with senior White House officials over shipbuilding cooperation. Our Moon Ji-young starts us off.
As high-ranking South Korean government officials have entered the final phase of their talks in the United States, their first day of negotiations concluded with Presidential Chief of Staff for Policy Kim Yong-bum saying that they've had sufficient discussions lasting 2 hours. Presidential Chief of Staff for Policy Kim Yong-bum, Industry Minister Kim Jong-kwan, and Trade Minister Yeo Han-gu met with U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick at the Department of Commerce in Washington, D.C. on Thursday. The industry minister met with Lutnick again after approximately 2 weeks to continue discussions aimed at narrowing differences over the proposed $350 billion investment package. Upon their arrival, the minister and presidential chief of staff held their first official meeting with Ross Delvat, director of the Office of Management and Budget, where they discussed measures for shipbuilding cooperation between the two countries. While the OMB is not directly involved in tariff negotiations, the South Korean delegation expects that emphasizing Korea-U.S. shipbuilding cooperation will positively influence efforts to reconcile differences regarding the $350 billion investment package.
The OMB is a very crucial entity for the shipbuilding cooperation project. We are visiting the office as we want to listen to what it has to say and share each other's views on shipbuilding industrial cooperation between our country and the U.S.
Earlier, Kim said that both nations are negotiating in the most earnest and constructive atmosphere. Regarding U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's expectation of results within 10 days, the official took it as a positive sign.
When the U.S. expects a result within 10 days, that apparently represents its interim assessment of the negotiations with us, and I read it as a sign that is not bad.
Kim also emphasized the critical importance of the Korea-U.S. summit scheduled for the end of this month, held on the sidelines of the APEC leaders meeting in Gyeongju. Reinforcing the delegation's efforts, Finance Minister Koo Yoon-chol, who is in Washington for the IMF General Assembly, met with Bessent, acknowledging Korea's difficulty in meeting the U.S.'s $350 billion upfront investment demand. He noted that while U.S. secretaries understand Seoul's position, President Donald Trump's persuasion remains uncertain. He expressed concerns that paying the full amount upfront would undoubtedly pose a problem for Korea's foreign exchange stability. Moon Ji-young, Arirang News.
And the United States has criticized China's targeting of South Korean shipbuilder Hanwha Ocean, calling it an irresponsible attempt to undermine shipbuilding cooperation between Seoul and Washington. A State Department spokesperson said on Thursday local time that China's actions only reaffirm the importance of strengthening U.S. economic cooperation with allies and partners in the Indo-Pacific region. The comments come just days after Beijing imposed sanctions on 5 U.S.-linked subsidiaries of the Korean firm, a key player in the Make American Shipbuilding Great Again project, which is part of Seoul's efforts to help the United States rebuild its shipbuilding industry. Meanwhile, Cambodia is reportedly set to deport 59 South Koreans involved in job scam cases today. Meanwhile, the Cambodian Prime Minister met with the South Korean delegation and expressed deep regret over the recent death of a South Korean national in an illegal online job scam. Our Lee Seung-jae has more.
Cambodia is preparing to deport 59 South Korean nationals involved in job scam cases. According to a report by AFP, Cambodia's national police announced that the deportation will take place on Friday in cooperation with the Korean embassy in Phnom Penh. The individuals were either rescued from cyber scam centers or detained for related crimes. The move comes as Seoul has dispatched a joint government response team to Cambodia to tackle the surge in job scams that have led to the abduction and confinement of Korean nationals. So far, about 80 South Koreans are missing or unaccounted for, while more than 60 have been confined in the country in connection with such schemes. On Thursday, Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet met with the South Korean delegation and expressed deep regret over the recent torture and death of a South Korean national in an illegal online job scam. He pledged to intensify efforts to protect South Koreans and to arrest suspects still at large. Hun, who heads Cambodia's Commission for Combating Online Scams, promised a closer cooperation with Seoul to fight these crimes. Leading the South Korean response team is Second Vice Foreign Minister Kim Jin-ah, who voiced strong concerns over the situation and called for active measures to protect Korean citizens.
I requested active measures and cooperation to protect our citizens and eradicate these crimes in Cambodia.
She also highlighted the importance of Korea-Cambodia Joint Scam Response Task Force, which includes key agencies like the Korean National Police Agency, to work jointly with Cambodian authorities to root out these criminal networks. The coordinated efforts mark a significant step by both governments to address the widening job scam crisis affecting South Korean nationals in Cambodia. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
And in North Korea, the regime's leader Kim Jong-un, in a message to Chinese President Xi Jinping, has vowed to strengthen North Korea-China ties. According to the regime's state-run newspaper Nodongshinmun on Friday, Kim expressed gratitude for Xi's message of congratulations for the 80th founding anniversary of Workers' Party of Korea the day before. While saying the regime could once again feel the friendship and support from China, Kim added Pyongyang is to further strengthen and develop cooperative ties with Beijing in line with the new demands of the era. And over in Japan, Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba has made an offering to Yasukuni Shrine, where Class A war criminals from the Second World War are enshrined. According to Kyodo News on Friday, Ishiba made an offering called Basakaki to mark the start of the Autumn Grand Festival. Since taking office, he has been making offerings or monetary donations instead of visiting the shrine in person. The right-wing Liberal Democratic Party president Sanae Takaichi, who is being mentioned as Ishiba's successor, is said to have decided to hold off on a visit to the shrine during the festival period, seemingly to avoid conflict with neighboring countries. On the economic front, South Korea added 312,000 jobs in September, marking the largest on-year growth in 19 months. According to the Ministry of Data and Statistics on Friday, the number of employed people stood at 29.15 million last month. Notably, employment in service industries such as wholesale, retail, and accommodation and food services showed a distinct improvement, which the government attributes partly to livelihood recovery consumption coupons that began in July. However, employment in the manufacturing and construction sectors continued to decline, signaling persistent weakness in key industries. And the Nat'l Museum of Korea has welcomed more than 5 million visitors in 2025, a record for any year since its opening. In an announcement on Friday, the museum said the figure recorded as of October 15th marks an increase of 70% increase from the same period last year. In 2024, according to the art newspaper, only the Louvre Museum, the Vatican Museums, the British Museum, and the Metropolitan Museum of Art saw more than 5 million visitors, putting the Nat'l Museum of Korea on track for the global top 5 this year. Officials noted a significant rise in the number of foreign and young visitors, attributing the surge to the global popularity of Korean culture, particularly boosted by the success of K-pop Demon Hunters. On the cultural front, we take a look at a transformation of concert halls and museums that are becoming more interactive. Special lectures are now being held where audiences can listen to music of masters of classical music, accompanied by commentary from experts in the field, or sessions where the museum director explains the artwork before or after viewing the exhibition. Our Ian-jin has more.
A scene from the film Before Sunrise is projected on a large screen, along with the classical music featured in the movie's ending credits. In a concert hall typically reserved for orchestras and vocalists, a former radio producer takes the stage to explain the life and music of Baroque master Johann Sebastian Bach.
I've worked in classical radio broadcasting for over 30 years. Throughout my career, I've always thought about how to make classical music more accessible and enjoyable to more people.
On a weekday afternoon, the venue's lobby is bustling with middle-aged and older attendees who've given up their lunch breaks to attend this free lecture that they've registered for in advance. The lecture sessions that blend musical insights with references to films and famous personalities associated with classical music are fully booked.
I've been attending the lectures from the first session. I'm really interested in classical music. I've been to concerts before, but this is my first time studying and learning about it through a lecture like this.
3 lectures remain through November, focusing on the music of Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven. Museum director Yoo Hong-jun, well known for his book My Exploration of Cultural Heritage, uses his signature lecture style to break down the value and cultural spirit of early Joseon Dynasty art. These lectures are connected to ongoing exhibitions at the National Museum of Korea, including topics like white porcelain, calligraphy, paintings, and Buddhist sculptures. The layered multimedia presentations, complete with presentation slides and historical background, attracted an eager audience who managed to secure seats despite fierce competition during online reservations. The venue that seats hundreds was packed.
When I heard that director Yoo Hong-jun would be giving a lecture, I waited a long time for this date. It was really hard to get a spot through online registration. After the lecture, I'm planning to see the exhibition New Nation, New Art.
For those who haven't seen the exhibition, the lecture serves as a preview. For those who have, it becomes a review.
Viewing ancient art can be difficult if you're not an expert, but after attending a lecture, you can better understand why early Joseon art is meaningful, beautiful, and worth preserving.
As concert halls filled with classical music and museums housing cultural treasures become infused with in-depth knowledge, they are evolving into a cultural space with a new purpose, a venue for artistic learning and lectures. Ian-jin, Arirang News.
This is The World Now, bringing you the latest stories from around the globe. U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin have agreed to hold a face-to-face meeting in Budapest after a 2.5-hour phone call on Thursday, described by both sides as very productive. The planned summit will be their first in-person meeting since August and signals a renewed diplomatic effort between Washington and Moscow. Trump said Secretary of State Marco Rubio will head a team of senior advisors meeting Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov next week to prepare the agenda. Putin's aides called the exchange extremely frank and trustful, while Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán hailed the planned meeting as great news for peace. The call between Trump and Putin came just before Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky arrived in Washington for talks on air defense and long-range missiles. In the U.S., former National Security Advisor John Bolton was indicted on Thursday on 18 counts for keeping top-secret records at home and sharing classified notes with family members. Prosecutors say Iranian-linked hackers breached Bolton's email in 2021, exposing sensitive material he had shared. They allege he failed to tell the FBI that classified information had been compromised. The charges follow FBI searches of his Maryland home and Washington office for records retained from his time in government. Court documents say Bolton shared more than 1,000 pages of daily notes and intelligence on foreign adversaries, including missile launch plans and covert operations. Attorney General Pam Bondi said no one is above the law and that abuse of power endangering national security will be punished. Bolton's lawyer called the case baseless, arguing that, like many officials, Bolton kept personal diaries and said Bolton did not unlawfully share or store classified information. In Peru, at least one person was killed and dozens of police officers injured on Wednesday night as thousands of protesters clashed with security forces outside Congress in Lima. The protesters are demanding action on corruption and rising crime. Police fired tear gas as demonstrators chanted "Everyone must go" and tried to tear down metal barriers. Officials say 32-year-old Eduardo Mauricio Ruiz died of a gunshot wound. A police officer accused of firing the shot has been suspended. Government says 89 police and 22 civilians were injured in the protests, with 11 arrests. The protests come less than a week after former President Dina Boluarte was impeached. Her replacement, President Jose Herri, expressed regret, promising an objective investigation and blaming violence on delinquents who infiltrated a peaceful protest. Uruguay has become the first country in Latin America to legalize euthanasia after senators in Montevideo on Wednesday passed the dignified death bill by 20 votes to 11. The new law allows mentally sound adults in the terminal stage of an irreversible illness to request euthanasia carried out by a healthcare professional. Supporters say the measure reflects Uruguay's long tradition of progressive laws, which includes same-sex marriage, abortion, and the legalization of marijuana. Senator Patricia Kramer said public opinion demanded the change, with polls showing 62% support nationwide. Chu Ji-hyun, Arirang News.
We had pleasant autumn weather in the capital area yesterday, and we're wrapping up the week with a sunny morning. But again, more clouds will be moving in before the day ends with rain. And that rain will spread nationwide overnight and continue through tomorrow, with 10 to 50 millimeters expected. But the East Coast regions will see rain stick around through Sunday morning. Gray skies have kept the temperatures milder than usual. However, once that whole rain system moves out, we're expecting a big chill to arrive with the capital, waking up to a low of just 5 degrees Celsius on Monday. But this afternoon, temperatures will warm up nicely, reaching up to 24 degrees in both Seoul and Daegu, Gwangju topping out at 25 degrees. When that early winter-like morning arrives next Monday, we could even see the season's first snow falling in the mountain areas of Gangwon-do, with the season's first frost in inland areas. Speaking of which, the east of Gangwon-do could see more wet weather through early next week.
That's all we have for today's noon edition of Arirang News. Thank you for watching. We'll be back at 5 p.m. Korea time. Stay tuned.
누나가 발레를 하다 보니까 자연스럽게 누나 발레 학원에 따라가서 누나가 하는 모습을 보니까 저도 하고 싶다고 생각이 조금 들어서 발레 음악에 맞춰서 아무 춤이나 추다 보니까 그냥 그 음악에 맞춰서 제가 몸을 움직이는 게 재밌다고 느껴졌었는지 발레를 계속 하고 있더라고요.